looking for a new way to break the page? Then this might be for you. Hi, everybody. Creative Katie Karen Burchill here. Welcome to my channel. So I am working in a repurposed journal. I bought this at the thrift store. I'll link the video where I take that journal and turn it into an art journal. And just to beef up the pages a little bit and to knock back any of the text that's there, I'm just giving all the pages here a coat of white gesso. Now here's how I'm going to break the page. I'm going to use scraps, leftovers. I made a set of coasters right here. Here's the video if you're looking for it. I also made an art journal page using it, but I love the colors of this napkin and it was just too good to throw away. So I didn't throw it away. What I did is I'm just ripping it up and I'm applying it to the page. Now this is going to give two things. One, it's going to add texture to the page, which I love. Two, I'm benefiting from the colors here. I love these colors. So instead of getting out my paints or as many paints, I'm just going to use the colors of this napkin to colorize my page. Now, if you don't have leftovers, you can just rip up a napkin of colors that you like. A lot of floral napkins, you really enjoy the colors, but you don't have to use it as it is. You can rip it up and have that be that first layer to break the page, to colorize the page, to set the color scheme. So here I have all of them filled out and there's going to be lots of white space. And then I'm just gluing this down with my fluid matte medium. But you can use whatever adhesive you have. If you like using Mod Podge, go for it. Now I'm just putting it down, and actually when I'm doing this, I was doing the other art journal page. I was making the coasters and I just took a few minutes out to glue this down and get this on the page. And then it sat for a while. Actually, till the next day, till I added the next layer. This is kind of my accidental art journal where I'm just using discarded stuff, leftover stuff to give me that first or second or maybe even the third layer. At some point, you get inspired and you finish the page, and that's what you're going to see here. So this, I was in the midst of making that other art journal page and the coasters, and I just, instead of leaving these on my desk, glued them down. So the next day, I had some magenta, quinacridone magenta, Naples yellow, kind of makes a coral color, on my blending foam. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to add that to this page. So I'm just adding a little bit of pink, a little bit of colorization. It's bringing out the texture where it goes over that napkin. It's just adding more interest. I was determined to keep some white space on here. And then I'm just edging it. I have this paint on this blending foam. It's otherwise going to be, washed out and not used. So use up those leftovers. So here's the second layer of leftovers. And here's the page. I love the colors. Basically, I'm using quinacridone magenta, Naples yellow, and there's some bright aqua in there. And I'm using those leftovers. Now I want to add some interest to the background. I want to add a little bit of black. And this is from Songs of the Sea Samperia collection. I'll link it in the description box below. I got this from Ninny's Napkins, and I just want to grunge it up a little bit, add some more visual interest in there. And so I have a collection of stamps, texture stamps that I use. You're really not wanting to make out what it is that you're stamping. It's just adding another layer of interest. Then I grabbed this reflection stamp. This is a Tim Holtz one. It's just some text, and I'm adding that. Now at this stage, I have no idea that I'm going to put a face on this. So there was no pre-planning for where this was going to go. I was just enjoying the process. Then I grab this numbers one. I want something a little bit bolder, and the numbers are solid, so I'm thinking it's going to give me a little bit more black. And again, I'm not looking for a perfect stamp. I just want to add. And since I don't know where my focal image is going to go or what else other layers I'm going to add, I'm just doing it where I feel it. I'm going sideways. And I'm using archival ink because it's permanent once it's dry. Now I want to add some texture, and I grab this quatrefoil stencil. It's from the Crafter's Workshop. It is an oldie, but I love it. It is ageless, and you can use it on any page. I'm not sure that it's even available anymore. Check it out. They come in 6-inch and 12-inch, but you can get a similar stencil elsewhere. And I'm using TCW modeling paste. I'm applying it with a key card, and I'm going to put this in a couple, 3 areas. And I'm not looking for that perfect application. This is adding some white. It's brightening the page, adding texture. So we had napkin, paint, 3 stamps, and now stenciling with modeling paste. So technically this is, I think, the 6th layer. And it's making me happy because I love the color scheme. So go through your napkins or rice papers. Pick something where you love the colors. Rip it up, apply it as that first layer. Now I wanted to add a little more of that yellow to the background, so I grab the same stencil and I'm just stenciling again, probably in 3 areas with the Naples yellow. Just to add a little bit of brightness into the background. I'm just building off of the color scheme from the napkins. I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. I'm just benefiting from it. Now this background I could put a variety of focal images on it, matching the color. And even at this stage, still didn't have a plan for what was coming next. Once I do the paint here, then I start looking at my focal images, at my stash, at my what's on my desk, and I find this face. So on top of the photocopy of this face, I have one of those excess napkin plies, and I'm just tracing the face on there. And then I'm going to decoupage that down onto my page to get the shape of the face. I don't think I can draw. So here's one way that I can cheat, draw, use a printable, and then expand on it. So I'm just drawing in the details on the napkin. And you can do this with anything. This isn't limited to just faces. So don't throw out those excess plies. Again, we're using leftovers. So I'm going to put that there. But before I do that, I am just going to watercut some of that excess napkin off. I don't need all of it. I'm unsure how I'm going to do her hair at this point. There were a couple possibilities, and as I'm watching this, I'm thinking of a couple more. So I could do the same exact thing with the same face and have a totally different look. So build your stash with some of these basics. So just again, I'm just getting rid of some of that excess napkin and then positioning it. I'm thinking I'm going to draw the neck on a little bit so she's not just floating in midair. And take a deep breath, and I'm going to glue it down. Now the napkin is going to go translucent, and the lines will still be there for me to see the face. Now it's a little hard for you guys to see the face there, but I can see it, and you're going to see when I get to the next step, when everything's dry. Now the napkin, it totally disappears. That white disappears. You can't see it at all, but it does add a little bit of texture. Now I'm just drawing in the neck, and I'm using some craft paint. And I'm just going to paint the skin and the face, the neck and the face. Going right over whatever texture there is, knocking back whatever pattern there is underneath. Now, if I knew I was going to go with the face, I may have done some of the modeling paste in a different place. But you know what? Sometimes you just don't have to have everything planned out. It's an art journal. Have fun with it. If I was doing this on a canvas, I just might do it a little bit differently. But that's one of the benefits of doing it on an art journal page. You learn, okay, if I was doing this, I would stencil this. I'd put the modeling paste through the stencil for more of the hair. The art journal for me is a place to experiment and try things out. And then if I like it, I can use that knowledge. So now I want to trace the face. And here is a shortcut. So I'm just grabbing my charcoal pencil, and on the back of the photocopy of that girl face, I'm just putting a layer of charcoal. Then I'm going to position it on top of my painted face. And I'm grabbing a stylus, but you can grab a pen, and I'm going to trace the eye, the nose, the mouth. And that's going to push the charcoal into or on top of my face. Now I could use charcoal paper or graphite paper, and I have that somewhere in my stash, but I thought I would demonstrate an alternative way. We have those charcoal pencils in our stash anyways. You could do the same thing with just a lead pencil as well. This is the first time I've done this, and I must say it really worked quite well. So there we've got the face transferred. A little bit of a mess, just clean up. Now I want to draw in the hair. And I just have her swooping up and the hair going off the page. But I could have made that hair go anywhere else. I use my Stabilo All pencil for this, and I'm just activating it. And then I'm coming in, I darken the line here with black acrylic paint and my angle brush. I just do some shading when I do the shading on the face as well. And then I'm shading around the face. Bad for someone who cannot draw, right? There are ways to cheat. There are ways to do that. Maybe someday I'll get enough courage to draw faces. I'm just working my way on building the color up, the shading up as I go. I'm using a little bit of brown in here as well as the black. Just adding some shadows. And then I'm painting in the eyebrow and the eye with black acrylic paint and my liner brush. And to make it easier to paint on, I thin it down just a smidge. I add a little bit of water, and that just makes it a little easier to paint with the liner brush. And then I'm just going to colorize the lips, and I mixed the Naples yellow with the quinacridone magenta so it matches the colors that are in the background. Then I want to add a little blush to her cheeks. And if it didn't turn out, then I go back and I add a little bit more of the flesh color and kind of doing the dance. I thought something was missing, so I grabbed this butterfly napkin from Ninny's Napkins. Love this. You get multiple butterflies. Some are white that you can colorize, and the other ones are yellow, and they're multiple sizes. So I'm trying to addition the sizes. I'm thinking I wanted the big one, but I think that's just too big. This one I think is pretty much the right size. I have another one that's the cocktail napkin of pretty much the same thing. If this napkin is available, I'd order a lot of them. It is something you can use, and you can even change the color of the butterfly if you needed to. So I'm going to use this one that was in my stash, and it is actually already glued onto copy paper. I'm going to figure out where it's going to go. But I'm thinking I want some more of that quatrefoil on there. Like if I had done the hair first and then done the stenciling with the modeling paste, I would have put like throughout the hair. So I didn't want to grab out the modeling paste again. So I just grabbed some white gesso or white paint, and I'm just adding a little bit of more of that pattern in to fill where the hair is. So kept the pattern going, but that's okay too. I kind of like that with some is more textured. So am I going to put it over here? Am I going to put the butterfly here? Or maybe here? There is no right or wrong. All would look good. So decision made. I grab my gel medium because there's texture in there and the paper is actually a little bit thicker. I just want to use gel medium instead of my fluid medium. and I'm gluing it down. I love how that big yellow butterfly works. Just giving me the exact thing I thought I was missing. The sentiment, be the girl that just went for it. I believe that's from my Embrace Possibility sentiment pack. I cut off some of the excess and I'm just going to play with where I want it. And that's what I challenge you to do in your art journaling. Be the girl, be the artist that just goes for it. Try it out. It's paper and paint. Go for it. If you're enjoying this video, please hit the subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Share it with your creative friends. I just checked. I have over 1,000 videos on art room storage and organization, tutorials for pages under different themes, techniques, gel printing. There is a search bar when you're in my channel, and that'll allow you to search for whatever you're looking for in my channel. And if I've got a video on it, it'll be there. I continue shading around, adding a little more shading on the girl, shading on the butterfly, making that stand out all the more. Then I decide I want to make the stenciling here stand out a little bit more. So I grab my Stabilo all pencil, just outline a little bit. Here I'm activating it. Now the Stabilo all pencil is not permanent, and if I put wet medium on it, it will reactivate. But I'm doing it at this stage. I'm not adding any more layers. There will be no wet medium added afterwards, so I'm not worried about it smearing. I don't varnish my art journal pages. If I was doing this on a canvas, I would do this with the acrylic paint and my shading technique, not the Stabilo all pencil, and then I don't have to worry about when I varnish it. So I am very happy with this page that started with leftovers, scraps, things we otherwise would be throwing out. Thank you so much for joining me on my journey. Until next time, go get creative.